Hello, everyone. This is Ben Dunn, founder of Antarctic Press, a small publishing company founded in 1985. Also, the creator of such comics as Warrior Nun, Ninja High School, Marvel Monsters, Tomorrow Girl, Mighty Tiny, and a host of other comics that you can look up if you just type in my name and do a Google search. Well, uh, lately I've been listening to a couple of disturbing things that are going on in the comic industry. Mostly, it seems like a lot of companies are becoming very litigious as far as doing parodies and homages and things like that of their characters. And it got me wondering, why are they doing this? Well, I understand. They're trying to protect their IP. They don't want their IP to be besmirched, you know, despoiled, ruined by outside forces, by people who don't have any control over, and they want to make sure that their IPs are protected. And I understand that. Yeah, sure, you want to protect your IP. You want to protect your intellectual property, as they say. Because if you let people run roughshod over your intellectual property, then it may devalue the worth of that particular IP. Yeah, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Um, but think about this for a minute. It seems odd to me that the people who are most protective of their IP were never the creators of that IP. If you think about it, none of these companies actually created, most of these companies actually created the actual IP that they have control over. Why is that? You know, why would why would they be so protective of their intellectual property? Because they had nothing really to do with the creation of it. It got me wondering. Um, Maybe it's because they have nothing else. You see, a lot of these companies and corporations who own these intellectual properties, are can't create on their own. They got nothing. They are not creative types. They like to interfere with the creative process. They like to add their stamp to the creative process. That's just the attitude, that corporate Hollywood and any type of business who want to interfere in a creative process. They want to put their stamp on it. You always hear about creative interference, things like that. It's true. Yeah. You know, they want to say that they had something to do with the success of a particular intellectual property. So they add on something ridiculous or stupid, or something that they feel will improve the creation. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you had nothing to do with the creation. Think about it. Okay, all these great IPs, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, even George Lucas, who's the creator of the IP, uh, has no control over it. You don't think Disney doesn't listen to him? George Lucas volunteered, to help with the sequel series, and what do? George, we know better. You don't know what you're talking about. We know what people want, okay? You just sit back, count your billions. It's no longer in your hands, George. You know, and now they're beginning to understand their mistake. And this is kind of an interesting thought process as far as the way intellectual properties is handled by corporations. It's interesting to me that they have such a stake in a particular IP, and most of them have very little to do with it. I mean, with a few exceptions, of course. I'm sure J.K. Rowling has a lot to say about Harry Potter, but even she doesn't have complete control over her creation. The company that pays her to do the movies and the TV series, they can make changes. They can do it without her permission if they really wanted to. It's good to have the blessings of the actual creator, but even they themselves eventually lose control of their IP. Even someone like George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones. I mean, he lost control of the IP. Yeah, I mean, it's once you sell your IP, to other to a bigger corporation, then you can say really goodbye to creative control. Really, you know, if they want your opinion, they'll ask for it. If they don't want their opinion, they'll ignore you. You can say all you want that you should treat this way. They say, you know better. So that's why they're so litigious, because that's all they got. If they lose these IPs or in any shape, form, or fashion, then they've lost everything. They can't create something new from the ground up. None of them can, because if they could, they would. It used to be there were creative people in Hollywood who were also business types. They would. I mean, Roger Corman is a good example of that. He would just create ideas out of the blue, and follow up, with the creation of it. And he was, an artist. He really was. He was very creative. I admire him because he was able to mix business savvy with the creative process, and that's very rare these days, in my opinion. So recently I made a decision concerning a couple of my characters, Tomorrow Girl and Penguina. I'm doing what is called an open license. I want people to use my characters. I mean, yeah, there's some caveats, some quid pro quos, some limitations, as they say. But for the most part, anybody who wants to use them, I'm going to let them do it for free. Let them have some fun with it. Spread the use of the character all around, because I want people, to be exposed to the character in as many ways and places as possible. It's just one of those things I think is good for the industry. I mean, it's an experiment. I grant you, it may not work. It may fall in its face, but you know what? I'm going to take that chance. I really want to see the comic industry grow, and I want to be able to share, my IP with other people. I'm not going to be around forever. I know. Eventually, I'm going to die, and once I'm gone, what does all these IPs mean to me? Nothing, because I'll be dead. It won't make a difference. It's one of those things that I'm thinking seriously about it, and I'm not sure whether I'll do it or not, but I'm thinking about it seriously. That once I've died, to leave all my creations put it in the public domain. Just let everyone just do whatever they want. I haven't made a final decision yet, but I'm thinking about it. I would love to be able to do that. We said, but Ben, what about your heirs? They don't get anything. I said, well, it's too bad. I mean, quite frankly, my wife would probably be very supportive of it. She'd probably say, oh yeah, babe, that's what you want to do. Go ahead and do it. To her, it's not about the money. It's about, my creation, sharing with other people. I would love to be able to do that. I would love to be able to just say, once I'm gone, everything that I've ever created in my entire life, public domain. Just let you have at it. But so I'm seriously thinking about it. My kids have no interest in comics. They have no interest in what I'm doing. Which is a shame. I thought they'd be more interested in it, but people are different. They're going to grow up differently. They're going to do things differently. And quite frankly, I've raised them to be self-sufficient. I did not want them to rely on my creations. I think there should actually be, not necessarily a law, but there should be sort of an unwritten rule that once a creator of the original IP passes away, the heirs should not be allowed to control it. They should not. They don't know anything unless they know something. But now, and there are a few exceptions, of course. I hear that J.R.R. Tolkien's son or grandson or something like that was a very good keeper of his either his father or grandfather's IP, and until he died, and in which cases the other heir says, I don't give a crap. Give me as much money as I possibly can, and you do what you will. And this is where we end up with, and it's, they can do whatever they want. That's their business. Be far from me to tell them how to run things. That's not my business. I'm just telling you that this is the current situation as it stands. All these intellectual properties that people are fighting over, being overprotective of. I mean, what is it really? You're supposed to be able to share. The whole reason they were created to begin was to share with people. To give them something to read and to be entertained and be inspired by. To elevate themselves to a higher ideal. To identify with characters that may reflect their own personal, personal things in life, or to emulate, that idea. Well, what's the point of all this stuff anyway? Except to share and to entertain. I mean, it just seems odd to me that we've sort of lost sight of that. We're so focused on the money aspect of it. We've forgotten the core reason we tell stories to begin with. We our ancient ancestors. Comics have been around longer than the written word. You can have comics without words. But you can't have comics without pictures. It's just simple as that. And maybe someday, when I'm long gone, that somehow my creations will still be around, being enjoyed by millions of people, hopefully. And maybe I'll if there is an afterlife and I can look down on things, maybe I'll smile a little bit and see how much I've accomplished. So anyway, I just wanted to give you my thoughts for the day. And please remember, do what you will, but harm nobody. And if you support what I'm saying, please like and subscribe. And until next time, this has been Done signing off.